enough of that. No more put off. I find Bible and I wipe dust off. Time to worship and pray stress off. Before I take off, everything on my to-do list will get checked off. Give me a break. Give me a break tonight. Don't tell me about bills and all them things. Give me a break. Give me a break tonight. I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. Tired. Give me a break. Tired. Give me a break. Boss lady behind me, like the girl name is May, or the girl likes to slave me. Have me working continuously. She think I run on the battery like the Energizer bunny. She wouldn't stop working me like a horse. I be like my life, of course. God is my source. If I don't make time for him, I will be so lost. Give me a break. Give me a break tonight. Don't tell me about bills and all them things. Give me a break. Give me a break tonight. I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. Give me a break. Tired. Give me a break. Disaster to more than crisis. Pressure, chaos and darkness. All these things surround me. Sometimes life could seem hopeless. These troubles are like the trees in spring. Every day I see them all. Greetings and salutations one and all. I cry because I am brought very low. Welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Give me a break tonight. It's Healthy Love Night. Give me a break. And the request is to give a break, right? Don't tell me about bills. I don't know what kind of break you want. Give me a break. The track is called Break Tonight. The sound of Akil Ben. Tired. Give me a. How y'all doing? Are you feeling refreshed? Are you feeling tired? I want to say big up to each and everyone locked in right now. Those on tune in radio on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Welcome. Those locked in from across the pond. Top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK, One Harmony Radio. King Genius, much love. Everything on my to-do list will get checked off. Give me a break. I want to say big up to those who are locked in out of New Jersey on NIE Radio, hanging out with New Jersey's finest, the Motivator. Give me a break. Give me a break tonight. Blessings to the New York Massive. I'm tired. Those locked in on Island Worldwide, exhibiting the power of music. Give me a China Nicole Gary. Blessings. Tired. Big ups to the Jump Out Productions crew. Give me a break. Much love to those who are locked in on Reggae Pulse Radio out of Long Island. Blessings to you, DJ Atomic Force. Much love. I want to say big ups to those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Representing South Florida, Mr. Twinkle Toes himself, Mr. Lindsay. Give me a break tonight. Blessings, sir. I'm tired. Big ups to those who are locked in on PEMGTV.com. Give me a blessings to you. Much love to the massive out of Texas. Those locked in on Allowap Radio. Those on Dusick Media Group. Those on WGLRO, the People Station. With the Donnie Walker Morning Show, taking you from the sheets to the streets, touching from Detroit to Denmark and all points in between. Much love to you, Danny. Talk about some people that have been in the business for a long time. Give me a break. The telephone switch off, internet log off. Somehow they can't get tired. Clinton Lindsay, Donnie Walker. No more put off. I find Bible and I wipe veterans. Worship and pray stress off. Before I take off, everything on my to-do list will get checked off. Give me a break. Give me a break tonight. I want to say big ups to those who are locked in on Zeno FM. Bubbling in the stew pot. Welcome. Give me a break tonight. Speaking of stew pot, to my club friends on Clubhouse, bubbling in the stew pot on Clubhouse. Welcome. Give me a Those on Facebook Live, big ups to you. Those on YouTube Live. Let's do. How you do? I want to say thank you to my segment sponsors. Pulse Media Group and Being in a Moment is priceless. Get them a call. They can handle your videos, your photos, your streaming, your ads. Any event you want to stream live. What kind of events? A church service, wedding, party, graduation, seminar. I want to stream it on a secure platform, whether yours or theirs. Just give them a call, 754-999-1140. That's 754-999-1140. Tell them Kevin Stew sent you. I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea SU is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach County. She comes to you, bringing her table, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience. Give her a call, 954-655-9000. Schedule your appointment today. Or you can email her, thealater@att.net. That's THEALATER@att.net. She only has one request. When you call her up and schedule your appointment, you know, when she comes by, she sets up her table, you get your massage. One request, outside of paying her, that is. That is to get off her table and go sleep somewhere else. It's called the Kevin Stew clause. Not I'm tired, you know, but the massage is so good you just fall asleep. That's what happens to me. That's why it's called the Kevin Stew clause. So tell her Kevin Stew sent you when you schedule your appointment, okay? Thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global acts as your booking agents, handle your tour management. Take care of your social media, your bookings.
Give me a break tonight. Don't tell me about bills and all them things. Give me a break. Give me a break tonight. I'm tired.
Go ahead and give them a call today. 954-804-8199. Handle your music production, your marketing and promotion, and so much more.
Give me a break.
Check them out, reggaeglobal.com.
Pressure, chaos, and darkness. All these things so wrong me. Sometimes
call them up and tell them, hey, Kevin Stew told me that I should contact you.
every day I see them all grow. Lord, please attend.
Here's what I have going on. What can you help me with?
Give me a break. Give me a break tonight.
I want to say thank you to Matt Neil Trucking.
No bills and all them things.
With Matt Neil Trucking, your goods are in good hands.
Give me a break tonight. I'm tired.
Go ahead and call them up, 954-406-9740. You want to move from point A to point B?
Break.
Move some things into storage.
Like the girl name is me, or the girl likes to slave me.
Don't have the manpower, don't have the equipment, don't have the transportation. You have no worries. You have the name and you have the number. 954-406-9740. McNeil Trucking.
My will be.
Licensed and insured movers in the state of Florida.
Give me a break tonight.
Tell them you heard about them on kevinstew.com.
And all them things. Give me a break. Give me a break tonight. I'm tired.
Are you tired?
Tired.
Let me hear your stories.
Give me a
Numbers to call, numbers to text to get you in touch tonight. 773-789-STEW. That's 773-789-7839 as we address the topic of bedtime food.
chaos and darkness. All these things. Sometimes life could seem hopeless.
What do you consume before going to bed?
Them all grow. Lord, please attend unto my cry.
Notice I didn't say what do you eat, I said what do you consume. So it could be eating or drinking.
Don't tell me about bills.
What's your go-to thing to go to bed?
A break. Give me a break tonight.
The sound of Akil Ben.
Tired.
A track called Break Tonight. Thank you, Akil.
Tired. Give me a break.
So you can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram, you can even Skype. Kevin.stew is a Skype handle. If you can't remember that, you can remember djkevinstew@gmail.com. That's how you get in touch. Alright, so, call me, text me, jump into the stew pot. Those of you wondering what the stew pot is what others call a chat room. When you go to kevinstew.com, you are in the stew pot. It's our interactive portal where we keep things bubbling and lively. So come on in. You don't need to register. You don't need to offer your firstborn an internal organ or a blood sacrifice. Just go to kevinstew.com and you are there. You can remain anonymous if you want to. You can put your name so I know who it is that I'm interacting with. All right? So let's get right into it. I noticed I didn't get a response to what you consume before going to bed. What is your go-to? What is that thing that you normally have? Is there a thing that you normally have? Bless up Gary, bless up China. Much love, much love, much love. So, a sleep expert, according to wellandgood.com, says, there are some things that everyone should know when it comes to the most effective way to eat for restful sleep. Now, many of you listening to this broadcast have heard of Eat, Sleep, Meditate, a book written by a good friend of mine, Nurse Marva Riley, and Share, simple, healthy, easy, inexpensive recipes. And Marva lives by this. In fact, this saved her life. These things that she has in these two books, the Eat, Sleep, Meditate is really what she used to transform her whole life, because she was given a time frame in which to live, and she has shattered that time frame several times over. So in Eat, Sleep, Meditate, you'll find what she used to stay alive. And in Share, simple, healthy, easy, inexpensive recipes, you'll find out some recipes that she has used to take care of the eat part. Now, according to this sleep expert on wellandgood.com, after endless hours of tossing and turning, checking the clock repeatedly, and losing count of way too many sheep, winding down for the night to catch some Z's can quickly become a stressful event. Why so many people are stressed out by it, I don't know. I don't have that problem. However, they say it can be a stressful event. And some of us know all too well how frustrating this can be. Aside from tried and true ways of getting in the right headspace, like listening to a guided meditation or practicing lengthened breathing exercises to achieve a solid state of relaxation, knowing what to eat before going to bed can also play a role in how sweet your dreams will be. Yes, what to eat. Now, this is called Healthy Love, and I'm pretty sure some imaginations are running wild right now. It's not that kind of a broadcast. To learn more about how to eat for restful sleep, Well and Good spoke with Shelby Harris as a psychiatric doctor, a sleep expert, and the author of The Woman's Guide to Overcoming Insomnia. Now, I don't know if it is to say that this information only works for women, but it's The Woman's Guide to Overcoming Insomnia. And they spoke with her about her bedtime routine, the best foods for sleep, and common misconceptions about how food impact the way you will sleep. Plus, for an extra relaxation-inducing recipe, she shared her favorite smoothie featured in the Well and Good cookbook. And she says this will help you to sleep like a baby and wake up feeling as refreshed as ever. According to Dr. Harris, getting a good night's rest depends a lot on what you do before you even go to bed. Now, we've heard Nurse Martha Riley talk about this also. Although the ideal nighttime routine will naturally vary from person to person, Dr. Harris shared her own step by step recipe, no pun intended, with well and good for winding down in the evening and preventing waking up once you finally fall asleep. Okay. You see, you put in a word like finally in a statement like that, then it speaks of the struggle. That's how I read it. I don't know how you read it. Let me know how you read it or how you interpret it. But she goes on to say, I have two children, ages 6 and 12, so we tend to eat dinner a bit earlier than some people would. Dr. Harris says dinner is usually around 5:45 or 6 p.m. and we eat pretty simply. Things like roasted vegetables, seafood, or meat that is grilled. I then have a snack about an hour before bed, and that often is some Greek yogurt with some low sugar granola. She explains that the carbohydrates from the granola and the protein from the yogurt are a great combination for bedtime. To ensure she sleeps soundly through the night, Dr. Harris says she opts for a small snack about 1 hour before bed, which helps her stomach feeling settled throughout the night. Now, how many people go to bed with, I wouldn't really say upset stomach, but an unsettled stomach? Because now, I guess that is the thing that seems to be keeping some people awake. Ever heard of that eating before bed is not good for you? Dr. Harris says this is a myth. And she's had to debunk this myth time and time again. And you should actually avoid going to bed on an empty stomach. Now, I was told that eating before going to bed will give you nightmares. That was one of the things that I grew up hearing. What were some of the things that you heard? Of course, now and then, we can get too wrapped up in the new show on whatever streaming platform that you're watching, that you're featuring. And the next thing you know, it is well past midnight. And all of a sudden, you hear a grumbly in your tumbly. Your stomach is growling. Before you flip the light switch off and hit the sack, she recommends nibbling on something light before dozing off. What would constitute something light? This is because, according to Dr. Harris, going to bed hungry can make it harder to sleep throughout the night. She says, I'm a fan of small snack that's a balanced mix of a small snack that is a balanced mix of carbs and protein. That mix is what is best for sleep, not simply a carb-heavy food. When picking between the snack options in the pantry, Dr. Harris says that it isn't just the carbs that make you sleepy, but rather the combination of lean protein and a low sugar complex carb that really hits the sleep-inducing sweet spot. However, she does emphasize not to have a huge snack before going to bed that can make you feel overly energized or restless as you try to drift away. Instead, eating something small is generally all you need to feel relaxed and ready for bed. Now, one of the questions I have is, why not just drink some water and call it a night? Because some of the times when we're thinking that we are hungry, it's really that we're thirsty. And because the signals are so similar, we interpret it as being hungry. Go drink some water. Did you consider that? How much water did you have today? And so you kind of have to wonder, what is it that you'd want to go with? A light snack, or just drinking some water, or maybe some milk? Greetings and salutations. How are you, Nurse Marva?
Hi, Kevin. I'm doing good. A little sleepy.
Well, this is past your bedtime, so when I see you calling, I stop everything, I drop everything, and I just answer.
Yeah, I'm particularly sleepy tonight because I was in New York for a couple of weeks. I went for my daughter's wedding, and it was her little one's first birthday, and then my flight was delayed,
Mm,
and you know what has been happening nowadays.
right, right.
Yes, I'm looking forward to my bedtime tonight.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
How are you? Your ears must be burning because I've been calling your name, talking about eat, sleep, meditate, and share, as I address this subject of bedtime food.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Because you're right up my alley. The thing is
Yeah.
that I am a staunch advocate of holistic health, and sleep is paramount because it is when we sleep that our bodies repair and
Mm-hmm.
rejuvenate and heal.
Right.
And lack of sleep affects not just our physical well-being but our mental health.
Right.
And some of those crazy people that you bump into on the road that are so unsafe, it's because of the lack of sleep.
Yeah. Sleep
So we
deprived.
sleep deprived. We have to discipline ourselves with sleep just as much as we discipline ourselves with what we eat, just as much as we discipline ourselves with exercise. It's very important to practice good sleep health.
Yes. As someone who one of your books includes just two of your books includes basically what we're talking about. I mean, one of your books
Yes.
include two of the things that we're talking about, and
Hmm.
they both cover basically all of what we're talking about: eat, sleep, meditate, and share simple, healthy, easy, inexpensive recipes. So with eating and sleeping, typically those go together.
Hmm.
We eat a meal and ethnic fatigue takes over and we just want to curl up in a ball and go to sleep.
Hmm.
But it
Hmm.
doesn't necessarily happen with all types of meals.
Hmm.
So when it comes to the bedtime and snacking before bed or the last meal before bed, having as someone who lives by this, what is your take?
Okay, I have a few takes on that. The thing is that there are several foods, healthy foods, that are conducive to good sleep.
Mm,
And there are some nutrients in these foods that stimulate sleep or enhance sleep or encourage sleep.
right.
And magnesium is one of them. Magnesium is a mineral, is an antioxidant, is a mineral
Mm-hmm.
that is known to help us to relax
Right.
so that we can sleep. And I don't know if you remember when we were children, our parents used to give us a hot cup of chocolate, for
Mm-hmm.
example. The real chocolate has
Yes.
that, and that's also why they say dark chocolate is good for us. The real chocolate has a lot of magnesium, which helps us to relax and helps us to sleep. Also, and so foods like almond nuts really is known to help with sleep because it has magnesium and it also has melatonin, which is a sleep regulating hormone.
Right.
Okay. Kiwi, for example, has serotonin, which is a sleep regulating hormone. And walnuts, melatonin. Banana has tryptophan and magnesium. Oatmeal, melatonin. So these are some of the nutrients that are in foods that help us to sleep. The moringa tea, the soursop tea, the cinnamon, nutmeg, the real cocoa, like I said,
Right.
can help us to sleep. Well, coffee can have the opposite effect. If you drink coffee too late in the evening, it can actually prevent you from sleeping at night. There are some people who drink coffee and it doesn't bother them, but most
Right.
people
Right.
who are having sleep problems, it could be as a result of
Of caffeine.
the caffeine in the coffee. But I would take it a little bit farther, Kevin, since I have a little bit, just I don't have much time to chat with you tonight. My recommendation would be, and it's not just my recommendation, I actually did a little bit more reading before I called into the program, even though I know this to be so. The scientific research and the sleep people will recommend that we do not eat 3 hours before we're ready to go to bed. And that's because the hormones that are responsible for that, the muscles and the organs that are responsible for sleep are so busy digesting the food when we eat too early, too close to bedtime, that it doesn't allow us to go to sleep. And if we do sleep, it doesn't allow us to get a sound, long sleep. So it's very important to stop eating at least 3 hours before we're ready to go to bed.
Well, that would mean that you're scheduling an actual bedtime so that you know when 3
Yes,
hours is.
absolutely. It is vital to have proper, what they call proper sleep toileting. And a lot of the lack of sleep that we have is due to or indiscipline. We need to have a set bedtime.
A routine.
Yeah, we need to have a set bedtime. Absolutely, we need to. Whether it's 9:30, 10, like me, I'm in bed by 10. It could be 11. It could be 12. Like you have your show a few nights a week. I
Right.
can understand those times you can't go to bed early, but you need to go to bed early and get a good night's sleep and get up at the same time in the morning if you possibly can. We should be working towards that.
Right.
Getting adequate morning sunlight also helps with sleep because of the vitamin D. Okay. Turn off the devices. Some people are on their phone, they're on social media, they're watching TV, doing something on these devices up until the last minute before they go to sleep. Turn off those devices an hour before you're ready to go to bed. Okay. Make your room dark. Like these blue lights from our devices can prevent sleep. Any light, really, just darken your room, make your room dark. That's best for sleep, because when you darken the room, it stimulates the body to produce or to release more melatonin, which will help with the sleep. Okay. You should not have TV in your room, your bedroom. Your bedroom is for sleep or for sex, not TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And meditating and prayer and journaling also help with sleep. And usually I have a cup of tea, like a cup of hot chocolate or a cup of herbal tea. I also find that a turmeric tea helps me to relax, so I can sleep also. So you got to have a routine, because you got to prioritize sleep, because you have to understand that sleep affects you mentally and emotionally. Lack of sleep is connected to high blood sugar or unregulated blood sugar. It can affect your blood sugar. A lack of sleep can affect your heart. It can affect your breathing, your memory, your digestive system. Lack of sleep can lead to joint pain. Sleep is just important, super important, and just
Right.
as important as eating healthy, just as important as exercising.
Now, you mentioned eating about 3 hours before going to bed. But so what happens with this whole idea or the whole thing where we eat and then we just want to go sleep? So wouldn't that be ideal for someone wanting to go to bed? If you're eating at lunchtime and you feel lethargic after and just ready to go to sleep, and you might go to your car and recline the seat and under a nice tree, comfortable in the car, and go to sleep. Wouldn't that work at night too?
It's not the same thing. It's not the same because in the middle of the day, you eat, especially a carb heavy meal, and you feel sleepy. You're going to take a cat nap,
Mm.
a siesta, if you will.
Okay.
That's quite different than going to bed to trying to get your 7 to 8 hours of good night sleep. It's not the same. And mark you, some people might not be affected by having a heavy meal and then going to bed at night to sleep. But the studies also have shown that eating late at night leads to weight gain because
Mm.
your body doesn't have time to burn the calories, the 1,000 calories that you've eaten, or the 1,200 or however number of calories that you've eaten. Your body doesn't have time to burn it. So you gain weight.
Right.
And a lot of times you will also gain weight around the middle. Well, if you have excess weight around the middle, if you have excess weight on period, or if you have excess weight around the middle, that can lead to other health issues such as cardiac disease, such as breathing problems, such as blood sugar issues.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So late eating is not just about the inability to sleep, because some people can sleep no matter how much they eat.
True that.
But the other issues are, the spike in blood sugar, the weight gain, and excess weight leads to so many health problems like diabetes, type 2 diabetes, like high blood pressure, among other things, breathing issues, digestive issues, joint issues, all kind of health
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
issues are connected to overweight and obesity, cancer.
Yeah.
So everything works together.
Now, okay, so that I guess that would explain why it wouldn't quite be the same to because it's the same feeling, but it's it's a similar feeling, but no, not the same feeling. Or well, a similar feeling, but not the same result. Because as you said,
For the
it's a quick nap, it's a cat nap.
Yeah, it's a cat nap. It's a cat nap, and you're gonna get back to work. So it's not necessarily that you're gonna be sitting there with the 1,200 calories on you in the middle of the day because you took that power nap, that siesta. For example, when I went to Europe, I went to Italy,
Yeah.
and after lunch, you can't find anybody to do anything because everybody is gone to take their 1 hour siesta, for example.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But then they come back to work and they get a chance to burn those calories and work off those calories, etc.
Right.
You know? And when I went to Italy, to be honest with you, I didn't really see any overweight people. They're not as overweight as the folks in the United States. And so it is very important that we distinguish between the power nap in the middle of the day and going to bed for 7 to 8 hours, which is what we should be aiming at getting, 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Because the studies have also shown that if we're getting less than 7 hours of sleep at night, that can have a detrimental effect on our health.
And
It can
lifespan.
act and like a lifespan and health span,
Mm-hmm.
and health span, because it can lead to cancer, it can lead to dementia, It can lead to heart disease, including hypertension, a lack of sleep. A lot of issues that we have is because of lack of sleep, that irritability. We're so short, we fly off the handle. We're not getting enough sleep. And if we're getting 7 to 8 hours, it's not quality sleep.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's we often think about what not to eat before going to bed. It's not very often that we address what you should eat that can help you to get a good night's rest. And you've touched on some of these. I'm going to touch on some of them a little bit more later on in the broadcast. But the mere fact that you have been living this, it makes a significant difference. For those that are new to this broadcast and have never heard you, just really quickly give an overview of what it was. As I mentioned before you called in, you were given a timeline with which to live. And eating, sleeping, and meditating changed all that. So quickly, please.
Yes. So, for those of your listeners that haven't never heard me speak on your show, I've been on a few times. My name is Marva Riley. I am a registered nurse, and I also authored 2 health and wellness books. The first one is called Eat, Sleep, Meditate, A Nurse's Guide to Health. It's a memoir telling my story of dealing with life-threatening health issues to now, at the age of 60 years old, I'm enjoying my healthiest life. I also authored a plant-based recipe book called Share Simple, Healthy, Easy, Inexpensive Recipes. And both of my books are available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target, and my website, rnmarvariley.com. About 22 years ago, I was diagnosed with a life-threatening heart disease called cardiomyopathy. And the cardiologist told me that if I did not get a heart transplant, I probably would not live. At about that time, I was suffering with depression and anxiety, inability to sleep. I was getting 2 to 3 hours of sleep every night. Okay? I had gastric reflux, H. pylori, irritable bowel syndrome, bloating, diarrhea, constipation. I had irregular heartbeat, trouble breathing, joint pain, muscle pain, severe headache every day, and severe allergies, to name a few. I was desperate for help, desperate to heal my body. I did not want to use conventional medicine because conventional medicine does not heal. It's a band-aid. I wanted to get rid of all these issues. I did a lot of research, and everything pointed to healing through holistic lifestyle. And that's when I embraced holistic lifestyle. I changed my diet to eating a primarily plant-based diet, minimizing meat, minimizing dairy, and eating more whole food plant-based diet. I also embraced exercising. I embraced a regular sleep pattern, decreasing my stress level by adopting a lifestyle of journaling, prayer, and meditation. And I learned to just relax myself and not stress myself so much because I'm always anxious and type 1 personality. I've learned to just chill. Well, now I'm 60 and I can tell you I have absolutely no health issues. None. I am not on any medications. I'm not on any drugs. I don't take any Tylenol. I'll take nothing. I use a holistic lifestyle to heal myself and to stay well. And whatever is happening in my body, I find a natural way to deal with it. And sleep is one of those things. I listen to my body. I'm in tune with my body. And if my body says get an extra hour of sleep. That's exactly what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was traveling last night, like I said, I didn't sleep very well tonight. I need to go to my bed and I'm going to get a minimum of 8 hours sleep. And then tomorrow I'll be able to get up and do my 1 hour of jogging and then just have a beautiful day.
See, now people wouldn't when I tell the story, people hear it and go, well, this is what Kevin does. He talks. He's a talk show host, so he talks, and so. But here it is. This is Nurse Marva Riley, it's giving it to you, plain and straight, as she has lived it. You said something just now. You weren't going to take the method of conventional medicine because it's just a band-aid.
Mm-hmm.
As a registered nurse, that's kind of that kind of goes against what pays your bills, because as a nurse you are administering conventional medicine. You're taking care of individuals that take this kind of medicine, and your doctors that you work with they're prescribing these medications, and it is your job to administer them.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't that be a choice for you?
Well, I worked in intensive care
Yes.
for over 20 years, and I saw the negative side effects from these drugs that were administered to these patients. I saw folks coming in with similar symptoms like I had, severe allergic issues. They would swell up, they had rashes all over their bodies,
Mm-hmm.
their airway would be closing up from anaphylaxis. And what were they given? They were given steroids and they were given Benadryl.
Mm.
And I saw the side effects of the steroids. I saw people's faces look like moon. I
Mm.
saw people with the buffalo hump. I saw people put on 50 pounds, 100 pounds weight,
Mm.
okay, from taking
The steroids.
steroids.
Yes.
Okay. I saw people who were not diabetic become diabetics from taking steroids just while in the hospital. And I was not going to do that. Okay.
Mm.
The thing is that steroids can help the symptoms that people have, but it has so many negative side effects. For example, I have a family member right now who was diagnosed with what they think is an autoimmune. When they don't know what is going on with someone, they call it autoimmune.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He was diagnosed with an autoimmune situation where his platelet count, your normal platelet count, is supposed to be 150,000 or more. And his platelet count was as low as 1,000.
Right.
Okay, now this is a person that I've been talking to for years about changing their lifestyle, eating healthier, doing some exercise, taking better care of yourself, try to get off diabetic drug, and they just keep adding more and more and more diabetic drugs, and rather than using lifestyle to control the weight and to control the blood sugar, they keep putting him on these pills, and he was willing to take them. Okay, well, he started having problems with his blood sugar, went to see a specialist, and the specialist said, I think it's the diabetes drugs that you're on. I'm going to
Mm.
try to get you off these diabetes drugs. I'm going to try to get you off this cholesterol drug. Well, they haven't been able to do it because, of course, we're addicted to food. And
Right.
subsequently, they have put him on multiple drugs to take care of this platelet thing, because if your platelet is too low, you'll bleed to death.
Right.
They have him on steroids. When he got sick, many of us, we wait until we're sick before we start taking care of ourselves. When he got sick, he had gone on a diet, started losing weight, lost like 40 pounds within a few months. Well, he put back almost double all that weight on since he started taking the steroids.
Mm-hmm.
So steroids make you gain a lot of weight. Okay? That's
Right.
one of the side effects of these steroids. Now, steroids also drives up your blood sugar. And if you weren't a diabetic before, you more than likely become a diabetic. And if you were a diabetic before, your sugar is going to be even higher. You're going to end up going increasing your insulin and whatever diabetic drugs they have you on. So those are some of the side effects of steroids.
Right.
Then with the situation I had also, they would put me on Benadryl. They put people on Benadryl when they have severe allergies. They put them on this drug, that drug, the other drug. And all of them have negative side effects. For example, when I was diagnosed with the heart issue, the cardiomyopathy, they put me on beta blocker. They put me on ACE inhibitor. They both would drop my blood pressure so low, I'd be staggering when I'm walking. Okay?
Yes.
Beta blockers are known to affect people's libido, whether you're a man or a woman. It just wipes it out. So all these negative side effects of these drugs I know about because I administer these drugs, and I had to tell these patients also, these are the potential side effects of these drugs, and I didn't want any. I
Right.
remember when I went to see an a regular medical doctor who practiced alternative health, also alternative medicine. And when I went to see him, he said, Marva, I hope you did not allow them to put you on any steroids. And I
Wow.
said, no. And he said, I'm so glad you didn't because steroids has so many negative side effects. So that's the real reason why, that's one of the top reasons why I did not want to go the conventional way. Because drugs does not, generally speaking, drugs does not heal. It's a band-aid. It treats symptoms.
Right.
And that's what the Western medicine does. They treat the symptoms, they don't go after the real cause for the problem and try to eliminate that or address the cause. They address the symptoms.
You see
And I
it.
didn't want that.
You see, it's one thing when I say it because, you know, I'm the talk show host. But I tell people all the time, I'm a DJ, not a DR, and those that practice the medicine, when you hear them say it, maybe then you'll believe it. And here it is, Nurse Marva Riley is saying just that. And she is someone that, again, has lived through this. So it is not to say that, you know, she isn't knowledgeable of this thing. She is very much so knowledgeable because this is what she has lived through. And because I'm not gonna keep you much longer, Marvel. I do thank you for taking the extra time to share with us and to let us know why. Because a lot of people don't know the whys. And with you telling, they just say, all right, they just hear you come on and they would say, all right, so Kevin has this nurse lady on, she's promoting her book and this is what they're talking about. But no, it's a whole lot more than that. And so you have been here with us for a while now. Ever since you first wrote the first book, Eat, Sleep, Meditate. That was what 3 years ago now.
2 years ago.
It's two. Okay.
Yeah. 2020.
Okay. And it feels like three. But but you've been with us and talking about this, and I cannot stress how much this information has been valuable. Not just because you're telling people what could work, but because you're sharing of your personal experience, not just from what you've done for you, but what you have seen happen to patients that were in your care, patients that you could not say, boy, you shouldn't take this, but you should try that, because that's not your job.
No, I could not. It was out of my scope. There were
Yes.
so many times that I wanted to say, especially when I went through my illness, I wanted to just suggest that people would consider looking act their situation in another way.
Right.
But my hands are tied. I mean, even talking really on social media or on shows and things like that, I have to be very careful of what I say
Right.
and
Right.
how I say it. That's why I tell my story. I tell
Yes.
my story so that I can say, this is what was happening with me, this is what I did, and this is where I am right now. Okay, I'm not telling any somebody else's story. I'm not telling your audience or you that I heard from John or Mary.
Right.
This is my story.
Yes.
Okay, and I wrote my books because I want to be able to show people that if I was able to use natural resources such as food and exercise and sleep and meditation and rest and all of that to heal myself, my body and my mind and my spirit, a drug-free way, and went from being so sick that doctors pretty much almost gave up on me to now at 60 years old be free of any health issue, then I know that it is possible for others to either do the same thing by reversing the illnesses that they have, or they can manage the illness that they have, or prevent having illnesses if
Mm-hmm.
they would just incorporate some simple lifestyle. Simple things like eating more fruits, more vegetables, avoiding junk food, minimizing junk food, getting rid of processed meat, for example. I'm studying now to be a certified health coach, and the book I'm reading, it there's so much information there. It drives me to dig even more.
Mm-hmm.
And I see where the World Health Organization and the American Cancer Society, for example,
Yes.
have have categorized um, processed meat as class one carcinogenics, meaning that they are known to cause cancer. Not that they might cause cancer, but that they do cause cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I write my book and I speak on your show and other shows, and I have my Facebook group, and I'm on YouTube and all of that to share with folks what I've been through and to also share with folks what I'm learning with the hope that they will empower themselves to become and to remain the healthiest version of themselves. So it's not so much about selling books,
Yes.
really. If I sell books, I'm happy, of course, because everybody wants to make a little bit more money.
Right.
But the main reason for me to be out there is to help to empower people and to bring awareness and to encourage and help motivate and inspire people to make the best effort to be the healthiest version of themselves.
And you've been doing an excellent job, and I encourage you to continue doing it. I can tell you this: you make 60 look good.
Oh, thank you so much.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, this picture that you're looking at of Marva is fairly recent, and it's an awesome picture. And I have seen her. I've known Marva for years, and I've seen the transitions, the transformations. And let me
Yeah.
tell you, this when you hear this woman talk about she's enjoying life as at 60, she has a video on
Yes.
one of her social media. This woman is dropping it like it's hot. You hear me? There are
Yeah.
some young people that can only look at her and lay it down like it's lukewarm. This woman is dropping it like it's hot, having the time of her life.
I am, Kevin. I am. You see, when you've been to death's door,
Yes.
when you've knocked on death's door, when a physician has told you that you might not live, and you're 38 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and you've done some things and keep doing some things, because the thing is with health, with this health journey, you never reach. you're constantly tweaking and adjusting and doing changes,
Yes.
okay, and challenging yourself. Like this year, for example, I had a few challenges. One of my challenges was to jog 2 miles at least 5 days a week, and I've met it. In fact, I was in New York, up
Mm.
in Westchester County, where it's hilly, and I was jogging 2.5 miles every day.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
and so that was one of my challenges. Also, I challenged myself this year to start doing some resistance and weight training.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing squats, I'm working on pull-ups, I'm lifting weights, I'm doing deadlifts, things like that to challenge myself. And that's why I feel so good when I put on a sleeveless and I see my arms looking all ripped.
Mm-hmm.
you, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yes.
whereas last year I was wearing a size 6, and this year my sister gave me some hand-me-downs and they're size 2, and I'm fitting them, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel really good about the way I look. Well, any woman or any man can do the same thing
Yes.
if you put your mind to it and if you're willing to do the work. And it doesn't happen overnight. You're constantly trying to be the best version, the healthiest version of yourself. And if you slip and slide today, tomorrow you hit that reset button, you
You
reset,
start all over
refocus, and
again.
restart all over again.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Eventually it becomes a way of life, it becomes a lifestyle, and then you really start enjoying it and enjoying the fruits of your labor.
Indeed. And you see, this is why I have these ladies in my life. You know, you talk to people like Marva Riley. I talk to people like Althea Su with Chiole Fitness. Changing your lifestyle will change your life. You hear Marva talking about it. These are the things that these ladies talk about, and they know each other too. In fact, they know each
Mm-hmm,
other longer than I know them. And
mm-hmm,
this, these are the people that I talk. These are the things that I talk with them about.
mm-hmm,
Althea now as a not only my massage therapist, but she's also a certified personal trainer. So
mm-hmm,
when you have a woman like Marva Riley that has been through all that she has been through, and a woman like Althea Issue that has also gone through some things
mm-hmm,
and and is putting in the work and putting themselves in a position to help other people,
mm-hmm,
then why not connect with them? Why not listen to them? Why not talk with them and see what it is that they have been doing in their lives?
mm-hmm.
3661 in the stew pot says, I know what you're talking about when you mention challenging yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, here we go. Hold on a second. Let me add this call here. Um, let's see. Okay. Is it adding? Is it adding? Is it adding?
I
Boom.
can hear you.
Now it's added. Speak of, I would say speak of the devil, but I'd get in trouble with that one. Althea SU, good evening to you.
Oh my goodness, my two most favorite people in the whole wide world. And I get to be a part of the discussion. Yay!
Hello.
You see,
Love, my love, how are you?
Doing awesome.
Wow.
people. As we are talking about bedtime food and we're talking about changing lifestyles and that will change your life and making these intentional, taking these intentional actions. Here are the two women. I don't even have to talk anymore. Here are the two women. You heard Marva's story. Here is Althea calling in. No, I told you she's not only my massage therapist, she's also a personal trainer. Here she is. Althea, you have been through some things yourself. Do you have a bedtime snack?
Oh
First of all.
Lord. Oh man. Yeah. First of all, I have to say hats off to you, Nurse Marva Riley, because when you came into my life, I had no idea what I was inheriting. You know, I thought I was just inheriting another another friend, but you have been so much more.
Mm.
And this health journey that you're on, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing me along because, as you know, as I've shared with Kevin and you, Marva, and the listeners, I don't have a choice to be healthy.
Mm.
I was diagnosed with not one, but two autoimmune diseases. And I didn't sit back and said, I'm going to wait to see what happens or whatever. I had to make a change. I had to literally change the way I eat because there's certain foods that are contraindicated to my condition because if I eat certain foods, even foods that some may think it's healthy, it works against me and it contributes to the inflammation of my joints and not just my joints, but my whole body. And what has worked for me is, first of all, number one, I have to say, and this is nothing against pharmaceuticals. There are certain ones out there that has helped people, but I chose not to. I chose to go the natural route, and I chose to change what I put inside my body. And if one day goes by that I am not active, the next day I wake up and I pay for it, because what keeps my joints lubricated and what keeps my body, I'm not going to say pain-free, because there are certain days that even when I do what I'm supposed to do,
You're feeling it.
I still experience pain, but compared to when I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I'm virtually immobile. So I was having a discussion with one of the people that I work out with, because I do, and this is one way that I put myself in check because I have a busy schedule. And Miss Marva, I am working my way to be like you, where I can work out every day. I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards it. So
That's interesting, because when I'm gonna put up a picture of you right now, and this was the one on the right with you wearing the Santa hat was a few Christmases ago, and on the left, you in this black dress was a few years before that. So you talk about your journey. You talk about hoping to be working out as Marva does every day. You are a certified personal trainer today, and this is before you became a personal trainer.
yeah, but I'm never comfortable with where I am.
Understood.
And, I'm in competition with myself because, like I said, I was speaking to one of the individuals I work with, and they're like, how old are you? With the age thing, and this was a male that I was talking to.
Yes.
And he was like, wait a minute. And you were diagnosed with this disease and all of the negative things that has happened in my life, I use it as a stepping stool. Weight training has been one of the most beneficial things that has been able to help me. Exercise is like, and Marva, you can agree with this, with having joint problems with your knees and stuff. I am now doing squats. Yesterday, I think I did 125 squats yesterday, nonstop.
Oh, nonstop. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me
Okay.
ask you
No.
this.
Listen.
Let me ask you this though, because this I don't want to go off too much on a tangent, and I know it ties back to it, because since we're looking at bedtime food, with did you have to make a change in your diet to be able to do these things now? And in that change, how did it affect what you would consume before going to bed and the time that you would have that meal, that food?
Well, I don't have the luxury of working out early in the day
Okay.
because of my work schedule.
Okay.
But when I leave, I go to work out directly from work. I pass my home 3 to 4 days a week when I go to actually work out. I pass my home
Yes.
to go and work out. If I don't have enough of the right types of food, if I don't, and I'm going to equate this to a car. If you don't put the right fuel in the car, that car is not going to work.
Well, not
That
properly
vehicle
anyway.
is not, yeah, it's not going to work the way you want it to work. So finding the right foods to eat at the right time
Yes.
is what gives my body fuel. And
What are some of those foods?
one of the things, oh my goodness. So because the autoimmune disease that I've been diagnosed with are lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, which inflames the joints and makes my body makes it very painful for me to move.
Mm-hmm.
What I consume now is anti-inflammatory. I eat a lot of garlic, raw and otherwise, ginger, a lot of raw foods. I used to like to steam my vegetables, not cook them to the point where I'm taking away the majority of the nutrients. But number one, I'm lazy. I have to eat healthy, but I don't like to spend a lot of time on my food. So I eat a lot of fruits. I eat a lot of raw vegetables, unsalted raw nuts, ginger, cinnamon, turmeric, garlic. I did say garlic, ginger, turmeric, garlic, the raw nuts, unprocessed foods. I cannot eat processed foods because if I do, even if I take a small bite of it,
Yes.
within a couple of hours, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And in order for me to sleep, and Marva knows that a challenge for me has been getting adequate sleep. And after listening to her and after taking her advice, I have to be very cautious of how late I have my last meal and what my last meal is, because that was contributing. That was, I should say, that was one of the major contributors to the fact of me not being able to get the sleep that my body needs. I'm not there yet, but it has gotten a lot better. And, it's a progress. I didn't get like this overnight, so I don't expect that I'm going to reverse those habits and those behaviors overnight.
Let me ask you this.
Can I
Yes.
say something really quick, Kevin?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So one of the things that I practice is intermittent fasting. And up until the end of last year, what I would do is I would stop eating by 7 p.m. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Now, yeah, okay. So this year I decided to tweak that a little bit because intermittent fasting helps us to lose the weight and keep it off for good. But intermittent fasting also has a lot of other health benefits, such as digestive health benefits. And so now I stop eating by 4 o'clock. And I find that intermittent fasting, meaning I eat my last meal early in the afternoon, like all grandparents used to do many years ago, helps me to sleep a lot better. And what I've read is that our bodies are so busy digesting the food when we eat later on in the evening or early night or night that it doesn't give the body in a chance to rest and
Yep.
sleep. So it's very important that we discipline ourselves to stop eating early, like our grandparents. I remember my grandparents used to eat dinner like 3, 4 o'clock.
Yes.
And they either never ate anything else for the rest of the evening, or if they did, they said they would have a little catch up. And what
Right.
was their catch up? A cup of herbal tea at night and one cracker, just to, as they would say, to quiet the worm. So, intermittent fasting or eating our last meal very early in the evening will help us to lose the weight and keep it off for good. It will help us with our digestive issues if we have digestive issues, and it can help us to sleep. Not that it will, but it can help us with digestive issues. It can help us to sleep better, and it definitely will help us to lose that excess weight and keep it off for good, especially off our tummy, the middle section there.
Yep, that awful midsection. It's like, and as as women, we tend, well, I'm gonna say I tend to obsess over my midsection. And from, doing research about where we carry certain weight and certain fat proportions in our body, one of the most dangerous places that for anybody, not just women, to have excess weight is in our midsection. And think about it, where are your major organs?
Yes. Yep.
And when you have so much weight and so much fat surrounding it, what does that do to your overall health? And I'm not the medical professional here, so Marva, please feel free to chime in on this.
Right.
But you know what? It's not even so much about being a medical professional, but this is common knowledge. This is information that is readily available in books, online, and that kind of thing. And also, if we just try to stop eating, try to stop eating 1 hour earlier, and you will see a difference. You will see a difference in your weight. You will see a difference in your tummy size. And you should see a difference with your sleep. Okay? And then you go to another additional hour. And so if when you
Baby
get
steps.
to not, yes, baby steps.
Mm.
Baby steps. But the goal should be to stop eating 3 hours before you're ready to go to bed. And if, say you go to bed at midnight, it doesn't mean that you should stop eating at 9 o'clock. That's not, because 10 chances to 1 at 9 o'clock, you're not very physically active. So you're not going to have the time to burn the calories.
Right.
You should get into the habit of eating early. You know what I did when I used to work 12-and-a-half-hour shifts at the hospital? I would bring my dinner to work. I would bring my lunch and I would bring my dinner and whatever snack. and I would make sure that I ate my dinner by 6 in the evening. So when I go home, I don't eat. Or if I'm hungry, I'll have a cup of tea.
Right.
But we have to have a system. We have to plan ahead, invest in a lunch bag, and take your meals and finish your meals before you leave. Because some people don't get home from work till 8 o'clock at night, and that's no time to eat. We should have finished eating by then and give our body some time to heal and to repair and to digest that food and get rid of that food before we put more food. We eat too much. In this
Yes.
culture, we eat too much. We don't do fasting. I mean, people used to fast. Fasting is a powerful healing tool that has been used for thousands of years to reverse health issues, to heal our bodies, to lose weight, to strengthen our bodies. But we just eat too much, and that has to change.
For the fasting, some may think about fasting as a spiritual thing. Fasting not only heals our body physically, but when we're not busy spaces, we have time to reflect, and we have time to meditate, and we have time to just be still and be quiet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is mental, physical, but it's also mental. For me, that is.
So I need to do two things. One, I need to get rid of not get rid of, but part company with Facebook Live and Clubhouse. I totally forgot that you guys were still on. Come on over to kevinstew.com for the remainder of the broadcast. There's not a whole lot left, but come over there anyway. All right, we're in a part company with you guys. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate you. Mark, much love, my brother. One of my friends from primary school just chimed in on the Facebook Live. I said, primary school, pay attention. Oh, single digits. That's how long we've been friends. But you ladies have been friends for a while. As you go on this journey towards better health, are you constantly in communication, consulting with each other and giving each other tips and on how to best go about what you're doing?
Well, if I may, Marva, go ahead. Marva has health and wellness group. I'm not going to say follow because I troll her on social media because of all the excellent information, the motivation that she provides for me. I do contribute to the health group.
The Doctor and You.
Yeah, the Doctor and You. It's a Facebook group. I do contribute, whether it's a motivational message for the day. We have Meatless Mondays. We have Exercise Tuesdays and Thursdays, Wellness Wednesdays, and just catchy phrases that she came up with just to keep people engaged. And as much as I possibly can, I don't do it as often as I would like to, but whenever I can, I do contribute. We, we also just talk just to catch up on life and how things are going. And, if I see her doing stuff that just motivates me, I'll send a message to her, I'll give her a phone call, and she does the same. So it's like we keep each other in check, and we're accountable to each other.
Excellent. So since you're a personal trainer, and Marva, since you have this guide to a lifestyle change as well as a recipe book, do you all share information directly with each other to help with the journey? That's what I was asking.
Not necessarily, but I tell you something. For both of my books, Althea has been what this new phrase I hear them using nowadays, a beta reader.
Mm.
Okay, maybe it's not new. Maybe it's because I am a fairly new author. I wasn't familiar with that phraseology. But for both of my books, Althea has been a beta reader and an editor, if you will,
Oh,
because
okay.
my first book, she actually edited my first book before the editor edited it.
Mm.
And my second book, Althea edited my second book before the other two paid editors edited my second book. And Althea is a contributor to my second book. She actually is an excerpt in from Althea in my second book.
Mm.
So she has contributed to my journey actually more than she thinks, and I can always bounce ideas off her. Right now, I am working on a book. I felt led to write a third book this year,
Mm.
and the book is going to be about. I'm going to offer 12 steps, 12 strategies, 12 tips to lose weight and keep it off for good. Because
Mm.
I find that so many people get on the weight loss bandwagon, if you will, at the beginning of the year, in January every year.
Yeah.
And by March, April,
Mm-hmm.
the gyms are empty. They sign up for gym, they pay gym fee, they don't go, the gyms are empty. They lose the 5 pounds, they put on back 10 and they become frustrated and they give up. And the cycle repeats itself next year and the next year and the next year. But losing the weight and keeping it off for good is really not complex.
Right.
But the thing is that the weight loss industry, the multi-billion-dollar weight loss industry, makes it sound and seem more complex than it is.
Yeah.
Because they want you to sign up for the gyms, they want you to buy the weight loss pills, they want you to buy the weight loss shake, they want you to do this and they want you to buy this equipment and they want you to do, but it's really not that complex. It
Yes.
really isn't. It's quite
It's not
simple.
rocket science.
It is not rocket science, and I would like to offer 12 steps, simple steps, doable steps, effective steps to people that they can use and tweak and use and tweak to lose the weight and keep it off for good, to get healthy and stay healthy for good. And I bounced it off on Althea, and
Mm.
she gave me some excellent ideas for that book.
Okay.
So yeah, we do collaborate more than we actually think that we
And
collaborate.
you know what? It really doesn't start out that way. You know, it's usually a phone call with, "Hey, how you doing? Haven't spoken to you in a while. Just calling to check in." And next thing we know, it's an hour later,
Mm.
and ideas are going here and there, and this is, so it's not like it's something that we set out to do intentionally. It just happens organically because I guess our minds are in tune, with one another, and we both support each other on our journeys.
Awesome. Well, if what you're doing helps you to sleep better at night, then I'm all in. You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
exercise and eating and regulating our diets, watching our diets, and the time of our last meal or what we choose to have as a snack. These things make a significant difference. And Marva, I know you should have been gone like half an hour ago, probably longer. But real quickly, I want to go through some things while I have you guys both on the phone. And there's a list here of foods high in melatonin. And Marva, you had mentioned some of them earlier. Milk. And milk is interesting because I personally don't have cow's milk anymore. I do not do the dairy thing anymore because
Good.
of what has been happening in the dairy industry with all the antibiotics and the drugs and the way these cows are reared. If I am not seeing that farmer squeeze the udders of these cows and getting the milk out, I'm good.
It's not milk. It's not milk. It's pasteurized stuff that is put in a bottle and called milk. There
Yeah,
is no nutritional value in the what you go to the grocery store and you see as whole milk or skim milk or fat-free milk or whatever. There is no nutritional value in there because of the pasteurization that it goes through.
and so with that said, milk. I do believe farmers used to get up early in the morning to milk cows, and that would be the milk that is put out or distributed. And I'm only just realizing why. Because overnight, just like how humans do the melatonin production at night, because it works with us on a circadian rhythm, so do the cows, so do animals. And so the farmers would milk these cows early in the morning because the melatonin is high. And this is why a warm glass of milk would have relaxed you and put you to sleep back in the day more than it does now. Because as Althea just said, the nutritional content isn't really there. So, but pistachios is on the list. I think that was one of the things you mentioned, Althea, that you have. And I think you also mentioned it, Marva. Tart cherries is on this list. And this is a list of foods foods being the overall category, that contain melatonin. Fatty fish, you're talking about salmon, tuna. These are melatonin rich foods, which is interesting. So you having a tuna melt for lunch, you feeling relaxed and kind of sleepy is natural. I'm guessing. Rice. And this one I could understand because every time I eat some rice at lunch, I'm taking a nap. And according to
What kind
this,
of rice though? What kind of rice is it talking about though?
it doesn't really say. And I've kind of also moved away from the white rice thing and gone more to brown rice. I've gone to other types of grains, quinoa, couscous, bulgur. Not so much rice, but they say it's because of the carbs. And Marva, you mentioned carbs earlier on in the broadcast.
Yes, the carbs. I mean, if you remember when we were back in the islands, when the farmers would eat this carb heavy lunch,
Hmm.
I mean, literally, they would fall asleep under the tree.
Yes,
Literally.
yes.
So carbs does make you carbs can have that effect on you,
Hmm.
you know. But
Next,
I would suggest, and anybody who's trying to eat rice to help them to go to sleep, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
yeah,
It's too much carbs.
I personally wouldn't recommend it. And again, listen to the nurse. you know, I'm a DJ. Nurse is into medicine, so listen to the nurse. Goji berries, powerful source of natural melatonin. I never knew that before. No, before finding this information, I did not know this about goji berries, and considered as a superfood. They originally native to China, rich in antioxidants, protein, and fiber. Help improve depression, anxious behavior, and sleep. calming your mind and allowing you to drift off more easily. And if it assists with anxiety, then I guess it would naturally help with sleep. Goji berries. People are going to doctors. Some doctors are prescribing all kind of sleep aids to you. How many of them would say go have some goji berries?
You're right.
Nothing that I've heard.
Right. Then, well, it doesn't pay. That's one of the big things. Oats. Oats is next on this list, and you mentioned oats earlier, Marva. I would even go as far as to say, don't just go with any old oats. Steel cut. The oats that you have to actually cook. The instant thing, nah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Instant oats have no fiber in it.
No fiber, and it's full of additives and sugars and sodium.
Mushrooms, rich in melatonin, and contain tryptophan.
Maybe that's why I sleep. Maybe that's why I sleep so well. I eat mushroom most days.
Yeah. Great sources
I eat
of
them raw. Yeah.
yeah, and great sources of protein, fiber, and antioxidants. Whether
But you know what,
portable,
Kevin?
yes,
I did a little bit of research before I came on your program, and it looks like these high antioxidant foods also enhance sleep.
apparently because the majority of them on the list are high in antioxidants. You mentioned bananas. Bananas on the list. And here you mentioned the melatonin content, the tryptophan, the magnesium. All great for producing serotonin and helping you sleep. They have corn on this list. Here's my problem with corn on this list. I don't know where you can get real corn anymore versus genetically modified corn.
Well, a lot of things genetically modified now, Kevin. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
even soybeans, that is,
Yes.
tofu and soybeans have so many great health benefits. But we still have to be cautious about whose soybean and tofu we consume. Because
Correct.
from what I've read, the United States has a very bad reputation of producing genetically modified soybean and therefore genetically modified tofu.
Yes.
So, I mean, tofu is touted as a great anti-cancer food, particularly for breast cancer.
But when
whose
it's
tofu are we
GMO,
eating?
it's counterproductive.
But I'm telling you, Kevin, there's so many, because even you go to the store now and you see all these different types of grapes,
Yes.
these different types of tomatoes, a lot of things, even
Watermelons.
apples.
Yes.
Yes, a lot of these things, apples, they have these different types of apples, and some of them are so deliciously sweet, but they're genetically modified. I mean, there's hardly anything that one can get unless you grow it in your own backyard.
Yes.
And that is not genetically modified, and it depends on what you grow. Because if you grow your own corn, you're getting genetically modified corn grain.
Yes.
Everything's genetically modified
So
nowadays.
you're gonna
It's
have to go
very
through a
hard
few.
to not avoid it.
Yeah, some of them you have to go through a few cycles for it to pretty much come back to its natural state.
Yeah.
And so you have to take the time.
And it's
Althea, you were saying something?
And no. I was gonna say that this country does not make it appealing or easy for people who are trying to get healthy. Doesn't give us the opportunity or access to healthy foods. The most inexpensive and most readily available foods are junk food, unhealthy foods. And if you want to have to go and say, all right, my health is important to me, let me go to a store that has more natural products, more products that are not genetically modified.
Farmers market.
It's going to cost you an arm and a leg. And you know what? Not the majority of people nowadays, the majority of working class families are not in the position financially to be able to make that choice of eating healthy as the norm. It's the exception for most families.
Yes.
Well, I hear you, Althea, but I also beg to disagree. We might not be able to eat organic. I don't buy organic. I very rarely buy organic anything because I can't afford it or it's not available. But in all honesty, if we really want to eat healthily, we can. Because, collard greens don't cost a lot of money. Cabbage don't cost a lot of money. Carrots don't cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if we say, okay, I'm gonna eat healthily, and we really want to eat healthily, what I find is that whatever it is that we really want to do, we'll do it. I see poor people wearing Michael Kors. I see poor people
Yes.
wearing Jordans. I see poor
Yes.
people driving nice cars. Poor people spend money on whatever it is that is important to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What their priority is. But if your priority is to eat more vegetables, you will eat the vegetables even though you cannot afford to buy organic kale. You'll buy kale. Kale is cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
You will go to certain stores. I don't want to, I'm not promoting Aldi or Walmart, but I just shop at Walmart because it's a lot cheaper than shopping say at Publix.
Yeah.
So if you really want to eat healthy, you can. And if you want to exercise, you can. You don't have to go to a gym. You don't have to have a personal trainer. You can get out in the car, get out in your backyard and walk.
Yeah.
And if you have errands to run, instead of getting in the car and driving, walk to the grocery store.
If it's close by, yeah.
At the farthest end, and yes, where there is a will,
There's a way.
is a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't like that people cannot afford to eat healthy. They can, because when I pass Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and Burger King and
the fast food chains have long lines.
and
The wraparound lines in the drive-through.
wrap around, and they're not cheap.
Yeah, not at
They're
all.
not cheap.
Not
I
at all.
hear you.
So
That's true.
So I know we can do better. We can make healthier choice. It's just that we're addicted to food and we allow our taste buds to rule us. You understand what I'm saying? But the moment we make up our minds that I do not want to live the way I've been living, I want to change the way I live. That's half of the battle is won.
Yes.
You make up your mind that I'm going to eat healthier, I'm going to do more exercising, I'm going to go to bed early, I'm going to decrease my stress level, I'm going to prioritize getting a little sunlight, I'm going to drink more water. You will start.
Yep.
You will start. Okay? You will start. But it's not an excuse about not having money to eat. People who get food stamps, for example, you can use your food stamps. There are plenty of
And eat
Americans.
healthy, yes.
Yes, if you can live off food stamps and eat healthy, because food stamps allow you to buy vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. But you don't have to go and pick up your cart full of sodas. I go to the supermarket, people will take up 2 dozen or 2 cases of sodas.
Yes.
Okay, and they have the bacon is not cheap. And those
Yeah, but
things.
they gotta have the
It's not
bacon.
cheap.
Yeah.
Gotta have the bacon, gotta have the bread and things like that. But if you make the decision that my health is important, and once I lose it, I cannot regain it, then you will make the decision to eat more salads, eat more fruits, eat more nuts, eat more healthy foods, and gradually transition from an unhealthy diet to a healthier diet and take back your health and take back your life
Well
and live
said.
again. And I'm going to say goodbye now because it's
Yes.
quarter to 12 and it's way past my bedtime, and I'll blame Kevin and Alfie tomorrow if I if I'm
Listen,
dragging myself around.
I'll be blaming both of you tomorrow because I have to go to work tomorrow. So,
listen.
but
You
Love you
see,
guys.
I don't even know. Thank you,
it's
Marvel.
always a blessing and a pleasure to hear you and to, take in the gems that you throw out there. So thank you. Have a great night. And I'm too going to be cutting out.
Thank you too,
Okay, God
Althea.
bless, and keep up the good work, Kevin.
I thank you. I thank you
Yeah.
both. All
All
right.
right,
Have
thank
a
you.
great
God
night.
bless.
God bless.
Bye bye now.
Good night.
Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, what nothing more. I got nothing more. This is actually where I'm gonna go off into musical therapy and remind you that peace of mind is a holiday. I hope you all were paying attention. Hold on, G Cole. I hope you all were paying attention. It comes back to being intentional and recognizing the importance of our health. The time of day that we have our last meal and what we have as our last meal is relative to the time that we go to sleep, which is relative to the time that we're supposed to wake up, which is all encompasses the amount of sleep that we're recommended to get. You pay attention to those things and you build around that, and you have laid the foundation on which you want to build. If you don't decide that you're going to do that and you're going to put that at the end of it, you're going to lose out. So understand what you need to put as important, and then you move from there and you build on it. You heard these two ladies talk tonight. They talk of their experiences. And you hear how they will bounce things off each other. I would recommend that you connect with them, and you can find them both in one place. You can go to Marva's Facebook group, The Doctor in You. Go on Facebook and just look for The Doctor in You. Go there, you'll see them more. Well, Marva does most of the postings inside there as the administrator, but go in there and interact. You can get some real great pointers. These women have been not just talking about it, they have been living it, and they've been helping others. Like I said, Althea is a certified personal trainer, but she's also on her own journey. Marva, as a registered nurse, has been told that she has to get a heart transplant in order to live. No such thing has happened. And at 60, she's living her best life. This was almost 30 years ago, a little over 20 years ago, 22 years ago, that this was her diagnosis. So, can it be done? Clearly it can. You heard them talk about it. They've talked about it before. They will continue to come back here and talk about it because these are things that we'll address over and over and over again because it's important. We take time to pay attention to the things that are important to us. This is one of them. Taking us into musical therapy to wind down this broadcast. This is G. Cole. It's called Peace of Mind. It's a holiday. Brand new music from him.
Peace of mind is a holiday.
Thank you to Matt Neil Truckin for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast.
And every time that I make this journey, it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make my journey, it just blows my mind away. It's such a blessing to be alive in this world that we all reside. And you can call it to what you want to. it only causes stress. You may not realize it, but you're truly blessed. And I know sometimes it's hard. You've worked all day and you don't see rewards. Come on, my brother, let down your guard. Aim for the skies, you might just reach the stars. I know it's money that you're trying to make, but if you're tired, you should take a break. It's not worth it if you break down. There's just a way too much at stake. Take a vacation if you want to. Spend some time with the ones that want you to be okay, because they love you. Oh my God, I said I wanna thank you. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make this journey, it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make my journey, it just blows my mind away. I say you're never gonna get me down.
And I choked on my reply. See, I'd rather hurt you honestly than mislead you with a lie. Now who am I to judge you and what you say or do? You see, I'm only just beginning to see the real you. And sometimes when we touch the honesty so much, then I have to close my eyes and hide.
This is the sound of King Banton.
Girl, I wanna hold you till I
Supporting vocals by the Twiggerific one, Twiggy.
don't even cry. Yes, I wanna hold you
His rendition of Sometimes When We Touch.
upside.
Bouncing through this musical therapy segment.
Romancing all in its tragedy. Leave me battling with my pride. But through the insecurity, some tenderness survive. I'm just another rider, still trapped within my truth. A hesitant prize fighter, still trapped within my youth. And sometimes when we touch the honesty so much, then I have to close my eyes and hide. Girl, I wanna hold you till I die, till we both break down and cry. Yes, I wanna hold you till the fear in me subsides. At times I like to break through and drag you to your knees. At times I like to break through and hold you endlessly. At times I understand you, and I know how hard you've tried. I've watched while love commands you, and I've watched love pass you by. At times I think we're drifters, still searching for a friend, a brother or a sister, but then the passion flees again. And sometimes when we touch the honesty so much, then I have to close my eyes and hide. Girl, I wanna hold you till I die, till we both break down and cry. Yes, I wanna hold you till the fear in me subsides.
Hey girlfriend, you looking so good tonight. Girl, I wanna dance with you.
Wanna say a special happy Earth Day to this guy right here, Mr. Hopeton Lindo,
With you, hey girl,
known as the Pen.
looking so good tonight. Girl, I wanna dance with you. Hey,
Track called Hey Girlfriend.
you get me in the mood tonight. I wanna romance with you. I've been watching you long time in the corner, captivated from when you come on. You knock me off my feet, disturb my heartbeat. Dirty look so sweet, hey. It's obvious you are the center of attraction. Your body language provokes a reaction. Couldn't take it no longer, had to make my move. You know I had to come over. Hey, hey girlfriend, You looking so good tonight. Girl, I wanna dance with you. Hey, girlfriend, you get me in the mood tonight. I wanna romance with you. Hey, girlfriend, you looking so good tonight. Girl, I wanna dance with you. Hey, girlfriend, you get me in the mood tonight. I wanna romance with you. I could see you are a real hot number. Would love the chance to keep you warm and tender. When you smile with me, I couldn't resist the opportunity. Hey, I don't recall when I'm moving your direction. I guess it was just a reflex action. I wanna hold you tight, wanna treat you right, and stay with you tonight. Hey, girlfriend, you looking so good tonight. Girl, I wanna dance with you. Hey, girlfriend, you get me in the mood tonight. I wanna romance with you. Hey, girlfriend, you looking so good tonight. Girl, I wanna dance with you. Hey, girlfriend, you get me in the mood tonight. I wanna romance with you.
It's been a long time since you touched me and made me feel that wonderful glow the way you do.
This is Ed Robinson working out with Joanna Marie.
It's been a long time since you held me.
The rendition of Is It Still Good to You?
Wonder what's gone over you. I don't know if I'd bring it up. Seems like it's a funny thing to talk about.
This is Joanna Marie, and it's all about DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. You feel for some stew? Check out Kevin Stew.
I just wanna know, baby. I just wanna know, oh, baby. Just because it's been a long time since you touched me and made me feel that wonderful glow the way you do. It's been a long time since you held me and squeezed me, so I wonder what's gone over you. I don't know if I'd bring it up. Seems like it's a funny thing to talk about. I don't know if I tried to do. Nowhere to turn to. Up against the wall, and I wanna know, is it still good to you? Does it feel alright? Oh baby, is it still good to you? Can you prove it tonight? Tell me, baby.
Whoa, it's been a long time since you asked me how was my day and kissed me before I could say. It's been a long time since you told me if things could change you wouldn't have known all the way.
I don't know if I'd bring it up.
It seems like such a funny thing to talk about.
This is where we close out this broadcast for the night. I want to thank you each and everyone for logging on, for checking in, for sharing with a friend. Friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too, because information is good for them too, right? Thank you to my affiliates, thank you to my sponsors. Join me tomorrow night as we close out the night shift week with Real Talk. Right here at 10 p.m. Eastern, kevinstew.com. And it will still be good to you, I promise. Actually, I don't promise, I give you my word. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. Remember, look out for members of your community. Your community is not just development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, on the plane, the boat, or the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Stew. This is how I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right here, kevinstew.com, 10 p.m. Eastern. Hey, Ty, welcome to the broadcast. This is where we part company. I'll take care. Be good. If you can't be good at it. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.